Hello and welcome back to Nolan Financial Radio. My name is Chris McKinney from Nolan Financial Partners. If you'd like more information about what you hear during our show today, give us a call at 719-210-4242 or visit us online at nolanfinancialpartners.com. And while at our website, click on the radio page, check out our past shows, and subscribe to our program on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, or Amazon Music. If you are like many other retirees or near retirees, you've likely asked yourself, how do I create the kind of consistent wealth that allows me to enjoy retirement with less stress? After all, you've worked hard for retirement, so you should enjoy it. During our show today, we're going to chat about some of the possible wealth building options and how you may be able to boost your savings in the coming months. Before we jump into today's topic, like it was a pile of freshly like autumn leaves, let me introduce you to my co-host, Tony Shore, who I'm told makes a mean pumpkin pie, which I'll note he has not shared with me.
Actually, my mom makes the mean pumpkin pie, not me. She makes a great pumpkin pie, as does my grandmother made a great one. Her pumpkin pie was the best. But you are at the top of the list if I ever make a pumpkin pie. Don't worry about that, Chris. But yeah, I love this time of year. We are getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving, but we're here in November now, and just like a financial strategy, the perfect pumpkin pie. It's hard to say. Perfect pumpkin pie takes patience. The perfect pumpkin pie takes patience and attention to detail, like a financial strategy, which is what you provide for us. And you've got me intrigued about what we're going to talk about today. But first, how have you been? I know you've traveled a lot. You've been tired. When we started to do the show, you were communicating with clients. You're texting. You're emailing. You're a busy guy.
Yeah. You know what? This world of online where you can talk to people from anywhere now. As long as you have a Wi-Fi connection, you don't have to pay the 25 cents a minute for the phone call, and then you can see the person, and you can show them documents while in real time, so that you can have those discussions about here's what's going on with your stuff, here's why this is this way, here's why the market is good, here's why the market is bad. When we can go through all those things, no matter where I'm at. And so it really is nice that we can stay connected no matter where we are in the world. It's such a great time.
Yeah, it is. And I know you love talking to people and helping people. That's why you do what you do. You and Tara help so many people with their retirement income plans, their financial strategies. So today you named the show Build, Save, Thrive. 3 important words, I guess, right?
That's right. Right. And the best one is the thrive part.
Yes, we all want to thrive. That's the best.
But it does take a little work, and it takes a few secrets. And the first big secret is, which is not really that big a secret, is set and achieve goals. So it's an essential step, right? You've got to get this done. You can't hit a target that you haven't aimed at. You got to grow your nest egg as much as possible before you retire. If you don't grow your nest egg, then you will be sitting at home and watching Netflix, and that'll be how you spend your time. And I'm telling you that retirees get tired of Netflix pretty fast.
Yes.
So be proactive. Work with a financial professional. Construct your financial strategy. Set clearly defined goals and write them down. Your financial professional will help you write them down. But if you haven't met with one, then you should write them down and then take them to your financial professional. And then the other thing about your goals is you need to socialize them. You socialize them with your spouse. You socialize them with your financial services professional, whoever else is part of your financial world. Maybe your CPA. Tell them, hey, here's my goals for how I want my money to go, and maybe there's some things that they can do to help you get there. Your financial services professional will definitely find ways to help you get there.
Mhm.
You've got to socialize your goals. You got to let people know that can help you with that what they are. Don't keep them a secret, okay? Get them
Right.
out there.
So I
So
love that term. I love that term. Socialize your goals. Let's talk
yeah,
about that. I've never heard it put like that. So by socialize your goals, you mean set financial goals, set
yes,
goals for yourself financially, for your retirement savings, things like
yes,
that. But then it's not enough to just set the goals. You have to have them written down. You have to have written goals. We all know
like
that. We've heard that. You and Tara have talked about that. So first they have to be in writing, right?
that's right.
But then you say there's another step, and this is a step I haven't heard anyone talk about, is socializing your goals. So that
That's right.
means talking about your goals with other people. You and your spouse need to communicate about the goals, is what you're
Mhm.
saying.
That's right. You've got to communicate with the people that can help you visualize your goal. And then when they may see something that helps you get there, um, and if they don't know what your goal is, maybe they'll pull you back from your goal, right? Because
Right.
we have different goals in their head, and so they're going a different direction. You're going here, they're going there. And so you gotta get that alignment going, and that alignment of energy, that alignment of purpose move you toward your goals,
Okay.
and not keeping those things secret is important. Getting them out there to the people that can do that, even with your kids. Tell your kids, hey, we're doing this, and this is why we're doing this. Here's what I'm doing to prepare myself for my retirement, so you don't have to build a house and let me live in your basement. Um, let's
Right.
so you're part of my goal now too. So you have to start visualizing it, and you visualize it, and you visualize it, and now we're all starting to work toward that goal.
That is the step I think so many people miss, especially communicating it with the entire family.
Yeah,
Your parents, your aging parents, your children, obviously your spouse is an obvious one, and that's what I thought the obvious point of that was, socialize your goal with your spouse. But there are others too. It's not just your spouse, it's your children, your other family members, and possibly people beyond that. You need to have a trusted financial professional that you work with on your goals, and you need to fully communicate your goals in person with them, correct?
that's right. That's right. You've got to, if you set your goals with the other person, then you can incorporate maybe some goals that they have kind of stashed away, and they're like, oh, that's a great goal. Let's get this into our goal that we're working toward together. And the same thing with whoever is part of your financial world needs to be part of your goals. So whether, like I said, whether it's the kids, it's definitely your financial services professional, and probably your CPA. And then if you have a trust, then it also includes whoever helped you put your trust together, right?
Sure.
So
So
whatever
an estate planning attorney, possibly.
estate planning attorney, you say, here's my goals, here's what I'm trying to get done. Let's set up a trust. And then that person, when you share that goal with them, has a better idea of how to help you achieve it. And people want to help people achieve goals. You root for your sports teams, right? You root for I was rooting for the Buccaneers to beat the Bills. That didn't happen, but guess what? They came really close.
They
So
did.
so you've got to get people rooting for you, so you can make those goals.
Yep. Yep. I watched that game myself.
Yeah.
So, but socializing your goals,
Yeah.
I think this is key. I think you're really onto something here because I think of my grandfather who
Mm,
passed at 101, and he did so many things right. He was a Renaissance man. He was
mhm.
well respected in the community. He was active right up until 2 months before he died. I mean, he was
Wow.
driving at 99. I
Wow.
mean, and he was camping 2 months before he died. I mean, it's so, but he was a great guy, and he did so many things right. He saved, he worked hard, but you know what he didn't do?
What do you
And
not do?
what my family I see, especially on my dad's side,
Right?
they didn't socialize their goals and
No.
communication. They're more stoic, and he is from the
Yeah.
generation. My dad's the same way. They don't talk about things like their finances with anyone, and
No.
that created so many problems, especially for his legacy after he was gone, and created family. If you want
Stress.
family harmony, you have to socialize your goals and get
That's
everybody
right.
on the same page. And so you've really hit on something here. I think this is the biggest step when it comes to estate planning, legacy planning, and financial planning and retirement planning, the things we talk about all the time, even
That's right.
even things like healthcare planning, planning for long-term care when you get older and need long-term care. 2 out of 3 people are going to need it.
Right.
So uh, I think the step everyone's missing and no one's talking about, and Chris, you've hit on it, is socializing your goals. We all have
Right.
goals.
Right.
We all have things we want to accomplish.
That's right.
But who have you communicated? Well, I don't feel comfortable talking about my finances with my children. I think that's the attitude a lot of people have.
Yeah, and I think that's changing, but it's not changing super fast because we do have that example of stoic grandfathers and fathers
Yes.
who say they're the head of the household and they're supposed to just take care of everything.
Right.
And
Yep.
well, guess what? Men don't live as long in as women do.
Yeah.
Um, and then they w now that we have dementia and Alzheimer's, now they're starting to lose their minds while they're still around,
Uh-huh.
and if you haven't communicated
And that ship has sailed for me already.
yeah, I know you've already got dementia and
I've lost my mind, that's for sure. I don't know about
senility
dementia, but
is
I've lost my mind.
woo! You think you're going to a Depeche Mode concert. It's not the '80s, man.
My wife's favorite band, so we actually are. I can't believe they're still touring, but
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so fun.
Yeah. So,
Um,
but you're right. And
yeah,
men typically, especially in relationships, and it's changing. It isn't always
it
that
is.
stereotype where the man is in charge and thinks but a lot of times I know you see it when couples come in, one or the other, one of the spouses is usually on top of the finances, but one isn't involved at all, right?
Yeah, that's right, and so then, the one that wasn't involved, if the one that was, isn't capable of doing that any work anymore and hold carrying that water for goals, carrying that financial bucket, um, then they've gotta pick up the pieces and figure out where everything is and figure out how to access things and figure out how to make decisions, figure out how to get money out of, some weird account. And now
Mm,
you have to get permissions. The person may still be around. So how do you have to get a power of attorney because
right.
they can't tell the people on the other end that to do stuff. So you've got to get power of attorneys. You got to do things. So having that commonality and of caring for your financial goals, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Commonality of caring for your financial goals.
I like that. Well, and you know what else? Just before we move on from the
Mm,
socializing your goals, some of our listeners may be single. Either they're
yeah,
they're widowed or they're single, and they say, "Well, this doesn't apply to me. Socializing my goals, then I don't have a spouse." But you probably still have family, and even if family doesn't apply, it applies to you, because you need to communicate it with your financial professionals, and you need to be working, especially if you're single, with a financial professional
Yeah.
to make sure that you are communicating your goals with somebody who can help you achieve them.
So we have a number of single people that we help with their finances, and they do care about things. They
Yeah.
care about what happens to their money after they're gone.
Oh,
They
sure.
they want to make sure that that money is going to, some specific charity, or a church, something, or maybe a niece or a nephew, right? Somebody that
Right.
they have developed a relationship with that is not necessarily part of their, um, family. They're not part of their, what is that called? They're not inheritors by just,
Right.
you got to make sure that all those things are in place for those people, and
Right.
that you have
Beneficiaries.
beneficiaries. So, but you got to have things in place that let them know that that is there,
Yeah.
so that they are contacted, or they know who to contact when, if you're not around to help with those decisions.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, and people might be thinking, okay, you're talking about socializing your goals, which is a great
Yeah,
concept, but you need to put it into practice. It's more than a good idea.
yeah,
You need to, again, communicate it. But Build, Save, Thrive is the name of the show. So we're
yeah,
talking about ways to build, save, and thrive, and that's one way to thrive. Obviously,
yep.
first you have to set goals, then socialize your goals. Then what? What are some things we should be looking at?
Well, we're kind of stepping back through that. So the next thing we're going to talk about is saving and investing. So
Okay.
this is the most common sense step when it comes to building wealth, is saving and
Right.
investing. Okay.
Right.
So what's your return on a dollar saved? It's a dollar, right?
Right.
What's your what's your investment return on a dollar saved? Well, it's some percentage of it. So first off, it's that dollar. Okay, get that dollar into a savings account somewhere where it can make some money and return that money to you. The returns are not nearly as important as that dollar that went in. So
That's
get that
true.
dollar saved, put it in a place where it can keep up with inflation and the other things that erode our buying power. Um, you need to max out your 401k if you're not already doing that. This is a great time of year to go visit your HR and make sure that you have the maximum amount going into your 401k that is matched. So employers commonly match about 50%, right? So
Wow.
if you put in 6% of your salary, they'll do 3. Well, sometimes they change, right? Sometimes they change their plans, and so if you miss that letter, um, for some reason that was told you about it, they've done their due diligence by sending out a letter, but you need to go talk to your HR department. Find
Yeah.
out, make sure that you're doing the right things. Ask if you can do more. What can you do more? Um, because you reduce the amount of income that you'll pay in federal taxes in the years that you make those contributions, right? So those are great things about 401ks, and that's why you need to stay up with them and help try to keep managing those as much as you can, so that you're aware of what's happening with them.
Yeah, and I think in about every other show we mentioned that take advantage of the 401k match, no matter what we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
You really like to drive that point home, and there's a reason, because that's free money. I mean, that's huge.
it
The
is.
four, if you work for an employer that offers a match, and the majority of medium to larger size companies do. If you're working for a medium or larger size employer, and if you have a 401k plan through an employer, chances are they offer a match, but you need to find out what the maximum amount you need to contribute to get the full match,
That's
and
right.
at least put that much into your plan.
Yep.
And the more you can put into any retirement income plan or retirement plan, like a 401k, 403b, etc., is huge. Obviously, you need to be contributing to it anyway as much as you can, but
Right.
you also need to the minimum you want to put in there is enough to get the match.
Enough to get the match. Right.
Yep.
That's what we want, is to make sure we get that free money, because a dollar saved is a dollar earned.
Yep. So what's another way we can build wealth and save more money?
Well, so we want to have a dream retirement, right?
Right.
So we want, maybe it's a comfortable condo, maybe it's dinners out with friends at nice restaurants.
Sure.
And you go out to a nice restaurant, you're gonna drop 100, $200, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So that's something that you have to plan for now. It's not just, they ain't pocket change. So if you want to do road trips with grandkids, you want to have an RV so that you can go around the country and visit each one of the grandkids instead of
Yeah.
flying. You need to have a financial strategy that helps provide all that. So we've already talked about socializing. This is also, don't go it alone. Build your team. Get your financial experts in place. They will tell you what you need to hear, and maybe not what you want to hear. People with significant assets, aren't getting up every day, looking at their laptop screen and managing investments and tax strategies. They're using professionals. Why do they use professionals? It's the same reason I get a professional haircut. Same reason I have a professional person doing my banking instead of my neighbor. And I don't hand them my money and say, "Hey, can I get some money out of the bank?" "Oh yeah, here you go." I use professionals. I use people that get paid to do what they do, and they are experts in it. They have licensings in those things. They do those things. So seek out those professionals in your life that can help you the most.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to put together a team, and I think that team, I'm not gonna name names, Chris and Tara, but, uh, Chris and Tara, they're there for you, right? So,
That's right.
well, that's great, and, you need, tax professionals too. There was a time I did my own taxes, but my mom is a CPA, so she helped out and then she took over, and so that's a relief to have a professional doing your taxes.
Yep.
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 So you need, and a financial advisor like yourself,
Yep.
to manage the overall plan, but have those professionals in your corner. It's going to help you in the long term.
Right.
It's going to save you making costly mistakes.
Yes.
Yep.
And it'll make sure that you reach those goals,
Yeah.
right? Because you're spending that attention on them.
Yep. So we want to be able to build and maintain a level of wealth that's
Yep.
going to allow us to embrace our ideal retirement. And
That's
you're
right.
talking about reaching goals, savings, investing money, things like that. What's next on the agenda?
So, we like to talk about multiple income sources in retirement. Why do
Yeah.
we want to have multiple income sources? Because what if one source is a little weak right now? Maybe the market's gone down, or maybe inflation is going crazy. And so
Maybe.
different.
You didn't need to say maybe for either one of those things right now, but
Right. So some things keep up with inflation better than others.
yeah.
Some things will keep up when keep up, stay up when the market is down. And so you want to have those multiple income sources. Maybe it's a part-time job. You maximize that monthly Social Security check. You've got your 401k. Maybe you have some other side investments. Maybe you have some money and some other sources, like an annuity. Annuities are great places to hold money that you then use when the market is down, and then you let them sit when the market is up, and so they don't keep up with inflation quite as good as the market typically does. But when the market's down, that's when you use them.
Yeah.
So, crafting a financial strategy that creates different sources of income is something you don't have to figure out on your own. Please give us a call at 719-210-4242, and we will help you build a retirement income you need.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's huge. And obviously, you have to look at where your money is at. We've talked a lot about asset allocation on the show before, but you mentioned 401ks,
Yeah,
Social Security is another source of income that you're going to have in retirement. We've talked about how to maximize that Social Security, and if our listeners want
right.
to get that Security maximization report, they can just call you and Tara, and you'll sit down with them and run that for them. And again, the initial consultation, there's no charge, there's no obligation. It's really helpful.
That's right. There's another thing that happened recently to a friend of mine. Um, you need to protect your money, okay?
Right.
In this day and age where we've got so much money that floats around on wires, we need to make sure that when we do move money across those wires, it's going to the right places. So, I had a friend recently. He was buying a house, and he was the target of what they call a middleman attack. And
Hmm.
so, what happened? He sent an email to a title company, and the title company sent an email back, he thought, with where to send the money. It was not it was not the title company. The
Oh
title company had been
no.
hacked, and
Oh
then
no.
and so a person sent their own, um, wire information and took and he was paying all in cash on a very expensive home. And so all that cash went out to some bank in California, and then that day, it got moved out into Bitcoin, and it's
Yep.
gone.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
No. And so
Oh,
so
what a nightmare.
scammers on the phone, scammers online, do not trust an email just because it has the right picture on it, just because it has a few things. I would not move money, because of an email anyway. I would never do that. Uh,
No.
you need to if somebody you get an email with and you're trying to move money somewhere, make that phone call. Take that extra step. It's a
Yep.
5-minute phone call. Call and say, "Hey, here's the information I got. Can I verify that with you?" And you can verify it via the phone call.
Yeah. And
Okay.
don't call the number in the email. Call
Don't call the number in the email because that's what he did.
Yeah.
So whoever answered the phone said, "Yeah, that's right." And then, "No, no, no. You call the
Yeah.
number that you have, on some of your
Yeah, look up the
documentation."
actual number of the actual
Right.
title company or the company that's that you're supposedly working with.
That's right. Do
Yeah,
your
that's
do your double verification that's
due
independent
diligence,
resource.
right? Due
Right.
due diligence. Well, hey, this has been a great show, but we're out of time, Chris.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't believe it flew by, but great show today. I
Yeah.
especially like the socialize your goals. That's
Socialize your
awesome.
goals.
Yeah.
Socialize your financial goals. Don't
Yes,
be scared about it. Nobody cares.
yeah, that's true. It's really good. Yeah, you don't need there's nothing to be afraid of. So,
Nothing to be afraid
Chris,
of.
how can our listeners get a hold of you to get a plan in place or get where they're at reviewed?
Yeah, so we've set up some complimentary consultations for anybody that mentions the radio show. Give us a call at 719-210-4242. We have those meetings between Tuesday and Thursday each week. We do run a little late in case you're still working. So don't worry about a time. We will figure out a time. Call us at 719-210-4242, and we'll get that appointment set up. Hey, check us out on our website, nolanfinancialpartners.com. It's a beautiful website, and it also has some good information on it. So go check us out there. You can listen to our old radio shows there if you want to. If you're something interested in something like Social Security maximization, then there are things there that can help out with that. But give us a call at 719-210-4242.
All right. Well, thanks, Chris. And listeners, that does it for today's episode of Nolan Financial Radio.
Join us again next time for another episode of Nolan Financial Radio.
Boom.